different.
Class is the greatest. That's where real expansion of your mind and talents can be found. Turn on. Tune out of the rat race and its square problems. And tune in on real self-knowledge and creative power.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, the Jedi Brandon Kenobi, and today we're going to be talking about Disney Star Wars AHSOKA, Episode 2. And if you're new here, please hit the like button and subscribe. Starting with Episode 2 being titled Toil and Trouble. And this episode begins with Sabine in the hospital, fully recovered and being comforted by AHSOKA. And if you're going to make her fully recovered, okay, that's fine. Even though I don't agree with it, I can accept it. But at least you could have her explaining to us how hot those lightsabers are. I mean, let's be honest. There's only a handful of people that's ever been able to survive a lightsaber stab, swipe, or touch. This would have been a perfect scene for her to be talking to AHSOKA and telling her, I never felt anything like that before. I thought I was gonna die, but I didn't. I never want that to happen again. If she had said something like that, that would have made this scene way more memorable. But for some reason, she didn't talk about the lightsaber. She didn't even talk about the battle. But in my opinion, I think it would have been so cool for her to explain to us what that moment was like. Because we don't know. They never explained to us the little things like that. Like what a blaster shot feels like. Or what a lightsaber stab feels like. These are things I would want to know. If I was looking for more information or more lore upon this Disney Star Wars. But let's get back to this episode. And we're in the hospital, still with Sabine discussing their situation. And I have to add, Rosario Dawson's portrayal of AHSOKA, or at least the way she's portrayed her in these last 3 episodes, it's very emotionless. And it's not even just her. Even the actress playing Sabine seems to have no emotions at all. And I'm not even saying they don't have facial expressions. They definitely have expressions, but they're always the same ones. So AHSOKA, while being so stoic and still so strong, questions Sabine about how many droids attacked her earlier at her lonely apartment. Sabine tells her the number, and I guess that informs AHSOKA that there's still one more left back at her lonely apartment. I'm not quite sure how she would know that, but she does. So she returns to Sabine's apartment, and we get more slow scenes of her staring, looking around, and being stoic, even though we're just waiting for her to destroy this droid. And eventually she does. The robot pops out and she destroys him, and she says, I was hoping you were still here. And I'm guessing we're supposed to assume that they always send a set number of assassin droids each time because she knew one was waiting back there for her? Yeah, I don't know about that one. So at this point, we have a scene shift, and it's shifting back over to Morgan the Witch and Baylan Skoll with his young apprentice, Shin Hati. And at this point, they've reached a planet, and they inform Morgan that they have arrived with the Map Mac McMuffin. Or how about McMuffin McGuffin? Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, the robot that AHSOKA destroyed moments ago, well, she's already brought it back to Sabine. And at this point, Sabine is fully charged up. She's at 100%. No back to tank, just a med pack band-aid. And to be honest, they probably should have showed something a little more extensive, because I think her insides would have been fried. So earlier, AHSOKA needed Sabine so she could crack the orb and figure out the map. Well, AHSOKA also needs Sabine's help again to hack this robot's head and figure out who sent the assassin droid by checking his memories. And these scenes do start to feel forced, because why does AHSOKA need Sabine's help with everything? I mean, technically I don't think she's a Jedi Master, but she should have the knowledge of a Jedi Master. She's been around for a long time. But while Sabine's checking this robot's memory core, she says the funniest line. Like me, this robot is resilient. And that line just made me chuckle, because you can't tell me how tough you are. You're supposed to show me. Show me by your actions, and then I'll decide. I mean, that's how good acting works. I don't know what these writers think they're doing, but saying what you are in these TV shows without showing it is definitely not the way to go. Because everyone keeps saying how great Sabine is in this show, but they're really not showing it. I mean, they are showing her doing stuff and moving around, but none of it seems believable. And I think a lot of that has to do with the actress. Maybe they told her to act that way, but after watching this, I feel like somebody gave her the wrong directions. So Sabine can crack anything. She seems to understand exactly how to hack this robot's head, straight from Corellia, she says. So pretty much after that, AHSOKA tries to take the information and just leave, but Sabine wants to help. She doesn't let her, and she tells her to stay there to heal up. And they're showing us tension that they aren't speaking about, but they're not showing us why. And that's what I'm talking about. You got to give us good examples or some type of throwback reference that can give us a little bit of insight in why these characters have this history with each other. Especially if you're implying a current issue that they're going through right now is something that happened off screen. You have to show us these things. Actions always speak the loudest. And at this point, Balin's skull is with Morgan the Witch, and she finally opens the map, which turns into a bigger map, and it shows a galaxy beyond their galaxy, and it looks something like a star forge, and it surrounds them completely. And that's when they say this place was not built by the Jedi, it was built by people from an ancient galaxy. And at this point, I just want to know one thing: what is Morgan the Witch's power level compared to a Force user? Because she's out here calling the shots like she's the big dog, and I still don't understand why. The pathway to Peridia. The Jedi children used to whisper this, and that is where the map is leading us to. Thrawn is calling to me through time and space. Calling to you through time and space? What is this? And those are Morgan's lines. I think she's taking this witchcraft thing to the next level. And I'm really not sure why they're even following Morgan the Witch. And they still haven't shown us Balin Skull's motives. He tells his apprentice once they meet Thrawn, he will give him ultimate power. Well, explain to us how. Maybe later they will show us, but right now they have given us no indication of how he will gain ultimate power. So, Ahsoka arrives to inform Hera about the situation at hand. And Hera is a general who hasn't changed her outfit after ranking up? Wow, and that's definitely the true meaning of being a rebel. You get to keep the same clothes on so we can recognize your character. Yeah, I see what you're doing there. That almost means that your acting doesn't translate to the makeup that you're wearing. Almost like you can't be these characters, so you had to put on props to look like these characters. Ugh. And I made a mistake. Sabine's not completely to 100%. Not yet. Not until she cuts her hair into a boy haircut and gives a stoic look. And this moment is just supposed to solidify how amazing she is. So at this point, they start to pursue an HK droid that has the information that they need. Somehow this HK droid stole exactly what they were looking for the Empire. They got the one random guy who yells that out right before he dies. Wow. And yes, in the second episode, they give us one more lightsaber battle. Ahsoka versus Merrick, but I'd rather call him Maruk. I think that sounds much better. And in this battle, I'm seeing there is too much posing by Ahsoka, but Maruk is posing too. But Ahsoka is way better at posing with a lightsaber. She's doing it so much, I think it might be a competition. So at this point, Hera is chasing the HK ship, and Ahsoka's facing off against Merrick and his assassin droid. And this scene is supposed to resemble some type of samurai fight. This isn't the worst lightsaber battle fight that I've seen, but it isn't the best. This fight scene was definitely a one and done for me. This duel between Merrick and Ahsoka almost didn't make any sense at all. Well, I'll give it some credit. It wasn't that bad, it was okay, but what was the purpose of it? Did it look cool? It was alright, but did it move the plot? Not really. And at the end, Merrick ends up running away, and Ahsoka just lets him. She literally watches him get on a ship and fly away, and she doesn't do anything to stop it. And she's even in range, because earlier Merrick threw his lightsaber, and he pulls it back at the last minute, and she dodges it. So she was definitely close enough to give him a little force pull. So Sabine's transformation isn't complete until she lets Ahsoka know about her new haircut. So she calls Ahsoka to let her know she's ready to go steady. I mean, she's ready to take her training seriously. And obviously, Ahsoka tells her nice haircut, and then she responds with, "It's more me." And they fly off together, happily ever after. Well, at least until the next episode. And the last shot we get is of Morgan the Witch, still hot and ready for Thrawn. He's calling to me through time and space. Okay, lady, whatever you say. I think the best part about this episode was Balin Skull. Every time Ray Stevenson is on screen, he delivers his lines with such a force and sincereness unlike the others. This isn't the worst Star Wars that we've gotten, but I'd probably never go back to watch this again. And that's all I got for Ahsoka Episode 2. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time with more movie news reviews.
Your mind and talents can be found. Turn on. Tune out of the rat race and its square problems. And tune in on real self-knowledge and creative power.